And it's down the road we go. Happy Wednesday, middle of the week, early in the month, second day of April 2025. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. Thanks for starting your day with us. Got a pretty good show for you today. I'm never going to go on the air and say today's show isn't going to be very good. We try to avoid that. Nice morning. Sun's up. It's getting the job done. 39 degrees, high clouds. We're in for a gorgeous stretch of weather. Temperature is going to be maybe a little below normal today. It's just about normal on Thursday with quite a bit of sunshine, just some high filtered clouds. Friday into the 60s, Saturday mid to upper 60s. A couple of folks in our viewing area, you could see 70 this weekend. Yeah, it's looking good and just in time for the end of the weekend and into the work week of next week. Things are going to cool back down and be a little more unsettled, but no complaints. The next 5 days look just beautiful. Details are coming up. We'll also wrap up the month in March from Mother Nature's side of things. How was March? I'll let you know. I'll get a little slide to show you for in a few minutes. A lot of news. Another busy day in the bullpen, but we got good folks who know what they're doing. Thank goodness. Maybe they should host this show. We'll have the news coming up here in just a couple of minutes. The Mariners played the Tigers last night. We'll have highlights, if you will. And I got a lot of really good positive feedback from a number of viewers who really enjoyed my conversation with Joseph Hunter, the one we did a couple of weeks ago. He's the Recovery Coach Network Manager for Thriving Together NCW. His backstory is fascinating. Boy, you talk about a guy who turned his life around, and now he's paying it forward with Thriving Together NCW. He's the Recovery Coach Network Manager, Joseph is. His story and what he does for Thriving Together NCW. If you missed that interview, and again, I got a lot of people who said, I really like that. Thanks for giving these folks a little TV time. I said, you know what, I'll do it again, just in case we have some viewers out there who may have missed my conversation with Joseph. Cameras, we got them. Let's go to the towers, shall we? And up to the heights we go. Boy, the hills are starting to green up pretty good, and there's a good reason for that. We had a wetter than normal March. We'll get to that in just a little bit. You can see the high clouds out there, not too dense and not too thick. That's what we have right now is pretty much what we're going to have today. We'll have a little more sunshine this afternoon. National Weather Service nailed the forecast pretty good. It said it was going to be cloudy and windy and a little light rain in the morning and then sunshine in the afternoon. That's pretty much what happened yesterday. We got to 56 yesterday. Our normal high was 57. Sunrise this morning was at 6:37. Sunset tonight 7:32. 12 hours, 56 minutes of daylight. An additional 3 minutes and 23 seconds. We gain again each day. Tomorrow, almost to 13 hours. And then Friday will be past the 13-hour mark as the days are definitely getting longer. It is obvious there. Camera number 2, sometimes called camera 2. It's off to the Arundel Rock camera we go. One of our lowest cameras, very popular camera in the wintertime. When we get the air inversion and you can't see anything because of the clouds and the fog, we have a tendency to go to that camera. Now it's clear and beautiful. We're going to use it again anyway. Good morning to our friends in Lake Aniat. Of course, Lake Aniat is the backside of Rocky Reach Dam, sometimes called the Columbia River, but the original town of Aniat, they had to move it when Rocky Reach Dam was built in the early 60s. And so in exchange for flooding your town, we're going to name the reservoir after you folks. Camera number 3. We're off to Lake Wenatchee. Beautiful view there. Looks like the clouds are a little lower and a little thicker, but it should be pointed out that that camera's up pretty high too, and Lake Wenatchee itself is pretty up there in elevation. The snow continues to melt on the ridges and the golf course, which I don't think is open yet. Maybe in another, I don't know, couple of weeks or so. You got to let Mother Nature do its thing. Good morning to our friends up at Lake Wenatchee, one of the best places to visit anywhere in north central Washington. And our fourth and final camera looks something like this, back up to Slide Ridge. Doesn't look like the snow has melted much at all up on the north shore or the south shore of Lake Chelan, but that camera is way, way up there. We're talking billy goat kind of height there. So good morning to Manson. Good morning to Wapato Point. And you can see a huge swath of Lake Chelan, almost all the way down to the town of Chelan proper. That's a lot of real estate you can see right there, and the orchards are just sitting there ready to get going. You'll see the clouds clear out there too, Manson, in the not too distant future. So March is in the books, and so the National Weather Service said, well, here you go. Here are your stats for our area for the month of March, and as you can see, it was slightly warmer than a normal March and a little bit wetter than a normal March. That graph at the very bottom of your screen shows you the days that we got measurable precipitation. So as you can see, March started out pretty dry. Then they caught up and got past our normal rainfall. We were 1/100th of an inch short of being exactly 1 inch precipitation. It was still wetter than normal, and it was all in all just a warmer than normal month and a wetter than normal month, which by golly was exactly what they predicted at the very beginning of March. So kudos to the National Weather Service. When you get it right, you should get a little love. Hopefully this forecast is right. Here we go. Outside of some high clouds, mostly sunny, filtered sunshine. A little breezy today, right around the mid-50s, pretty much what we had yesterday for the high temperature. It's just going to have more sunshine. A little breezy, northwest wind about 10 miles an hour. Same deal tonight, northwest wind about 10 miles an hour. Clear sky is going to get chilly, no blanket, 35 for the overnight low. The normal overnight low is 37. A little bit warmer Thursday, sunshine 57. A little bit warmer Friday, could get to 60. On Friday. Again, these days are getting longer, and that helps the temperatures warm up in the mid to late afternoon hours. No complaints at all about the weekend. Just in time. Nicest weekend of the year, Saturday and Sunday. Get out and enjoy. A lot of people will. 62 Saturday, 64 Sunday. We may bump those up a couple of degrees when we visit again tomorrow. And just in time on Sunday night, the ridge is going to break down. And it's not going to really break down, but it's going to slide to the east. It's going to move from over the top of Washington State to the Idaho Panhandle and eventually to western Montana on Sunday night into Monday and Tuesday. Temperatures will still be mild, but we'll see more clouds and maybe a little bit of rain. But next 5 days looking good. The news is next on the agenda, and you will get it in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Central Washington Water is home to the Hot Spring Spa for over 45 years. Come see the Freshwater Smart IQ. It monitors your saltwater spa's pH balance, chlorine, and more. Or the cold plunge tub that will leave you feeling rejuvenated. Plug-and-play spas make hot tubbing easy. With great financing available, cold water, salt water, hot water, Central Washington Water has a spa for your budget and your lifestyle. Stop by today.
The family at the Eplidolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Eplidolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Eplidolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Eplidolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
Just a few high clouds, 37 degrees, mid-50s today. Again, just a few high clouds, mostly sunny, really. And we'll see nothing but bountiful sunshine right through the weekend with a gradual warming trend. Nicest 5 days of the year so far. Starts today. It's 9 minutes after the hour. The Chelan County Regional Justice Center declined to book individuals arrested by the Wenatchee Police Department nearly 120 times last year. That's according to a lawsuit filed against the jail by the city of Wenatchee. The lawsuit was filed in Chelan County Superior Court on Monday, and it claims the county has breached an interlocal agreement that allows the Wenatchee Police Department to house inmates in the jail. The agreement allows the county to refuse a city inmate for reasons like serious medical problems or if that inmate is a substantial risk to others. But the city says the county has invoked this right at, quote, great inconvenience to the city's public safety efforts, end quote. The lawsuit says the county has declined bookings related to trespassing, drugs, theft, assault, and other infractions, and at times did not give city police reasons for refusal. The county provided statements to us made by County Commission Chairman Sean Smith, who said, and again I'm quoting, "This is a matter of the county needing to be paid in full for its services," closed quotation. Glazed Bakery has temporarily closed after having its business certificate revoked for unpaid taxes by the Washington State Department of Revenue. According to a document displayed on the front door of the Grant Road Bakery, the department issued 3 tax warrants in July, August, and December of last year for a combined total of $18,000 in unpaid taxes. A revenue spokesperson confirmed to us that the document is authentic and must be displayed while taxes are outstanding. Since 30 days have passed without the amount being paid, the bakery's reseller permit has been revoked. Glazed Bakery has been in business since 2011. It was purchased by Michael and Amber Smith in May of 2023. The Smiths say they hope to reopen later this week. Speaking of closures, the local adult entertainment store Eastside Arcade has shut its doors. Owner Steve Weiner said he has been losing money with the business since day one, so when somebody approached him saying, "I want to buy your building on Valley Mall Parkway," he said, "Yep, let's do it." The building was originally built in 1938, was remodeled in 2000. Weiner sold the building last November for $200,000. He says his other location, Yakima Arcade, will remain open. Well, after one structure fire destroyed a mobile home in Malaga on Saturday, Wenatchee Valley firefighters were called to another residential fire in Malaga on Monday. Fire Chief Brian Brett says his department was summoned at 11:50 in the evening for a fire in the 3000 block of Riviera Boulevard in Malaga. That's in the Three Lakes area. Flames were visible from the roof of the single-story home when crews arrived, but unlike the fire on Saturday, which destroyed the home and displaced residents, the Riviera Boulevard fire was confined to the attic and no injuries were reported. Moses Lake police on Monday arrested a 54-year-old resident for allegedly selling methamphetamine and fentanyl in the community. Gregory Laverne Wilson booked on a federal charge of drug possession with intent to distribute after a warrant search of his home. Local police, working with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, built the case against Wilson, and in the search, they allegedly seized roughly 1.4 pounds of meth, 9 ounces of fentanyl in powder form, and more than 1,500 fentanyl tablets. Wilson was booked into the Spokane County Jail. Authorities say he also faces a charge of unlawful possession of a weapon. The Washington State Court of Appeals has turned down an effort by a convicted Okanagan County murderer to overturn her prison sentence. Lacey Hurst Pavek is now 49 years old. She's been in custody since the killing of 25-year-old Michelle Kitterman and her unborn child near Tenasket in 2009. Authorities say Hurst Pavek wasn't present at the murder, but was the ringleader of a plot that recruited 3 other people to carry it out, all of whom were convicted alongside her. She asked the appeals court to undo her sentence of life in prison without parole, offering new evidence that she had a change of heart in the days before the murder, among other factors. The 3-judge panel said Hurst Pavek's new evidence did not overcome the brutality of the murder, and some of it was based on hearsay. She remains incarcerated at the Washington Correction Center for Women in Gig Harbor. Mina Gomez is a family-motivated Edward Jones financial advisor and won the 2025 Uplift Award. Gomez frequently works to educate and advocate for the Latino community to ensure they are receiving proper financial advice. And she was recognized for her work back in January during the Martin Luther King Jr. Multicultural Fest. She got the Uplift Award, and it was well-deserved. We had a chance to speak to Maria to hear more about what got her career started and what keeps her going.
This career path for me was very easy. Easy and hard, I'll explain, because as a young girl, we had a beautiful life. I grew up in the Sun Cove area. One would joke that it was the best of both worlds because we had a beautiful clubhouse, the river to play in, and we were still in that generation where our parents would basically say go and just come back before it gets too dark. Also grew up in agriculture, working all over the fields, but in that, in 2002, unfortunately, myself and my mother, father, my 19-year-old brother had came back to visit. He was in the vehicle as well, and we were involved in a very tragic car accident. Through this, my father passed away, and my 19-year-old brother did too. And when this happened, it really opened my eyes. I was 14 years old, but it really opened up my eyes about the value and importance of having a plan, protecting your loved ones, educating others about life insurance and all the other things that we can put in place. It wasn't until later that I realized, you know, my dad and my mom had met with the life insurance agent. They just hadn't signed documents. They had at one point attempted to invest. Unfortunately, because of the language barrier, they don't even know what happened with that money. And so, you know, all of these, if you will, negative experiences opened my eyes into the importance of empowering and being an advocate for others in our community so that they don't have to be a statistic or they don't have to have a similar experience like ours. Their responses are amazing. I mean, they are so grateful and so happy that they have advocates in this community and that they have a venue of education so that they can understand why it's so important. When it comes to investments or life insurance and everything, I think whether it's the Hispanic Latino community or just in general, our community at North Central Washington, they're happy because they feel empowered. They have the tools, the power of knowledge to be able to move on with their lives and feel comfortable knowing that they're being taken care of holistically. It's great to be recognized by your own community for the good that you do within the community. I will tell you that I'm not motivated by acknowledgments or my biggest motivation in life, and I think the thing that brings me the most happiness is just seeing the difference that I get to make in my community and the impact that I'm making in the lives of others, right? Whether it's, you know, educating, you know, Hispanic or Latino families about the importance of an estate plan or wills, or it's working with, you know, families who maybe never had an estate plan in place or life insurance, just protecting their young ones. So I think that it really warmed my heart and made me feel very happy to be recognized. But at the end of the day, I draw back to the most important thing, which is helping others. And I think that keeps me going.
And the 8th Washington State Poet Laureate is Leavenworth's own Derek Sheffield. This is cool. The Wenatchee World reports that the professor of English at Wenatchee Valley College is the first poet laureate in the history of the program to hail from our area. For the next couple of years, Sheffield will lead free events, readings, and projects in community spaces around the state and raise appreciation for the art of poetry. In 2023, he edited and co-wrote the award-winning Cascadia Field Guide with a team of naturalist writers and illustrators, and it's a good book. The Poet Laureate is appointed by the governor to serve a 2-year term at a free public celebration. For Sheffield's appointment is planned for April 30th at 7 o'clock at the Grove Recital Hall on the campus of Wenatchee Valley College. That's the news at 19 minutes after the hour. A busy news week continues today. But we got Jefferson and Jordan and Casey and all kinds of other folks who help put the news together. And then you can watch it at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight, the NCWLIFE Evening News, 5, 6, and 10 on television. If you're completely unplugged from cable and you want to watch the news when you're ready to watch the news, don't worry. It'll be up and running on the World Wide Web on our homepage, ncwlife.com, right around 5 o'clock, same time on our Facebook page and on our YouTube page. And if you think something out there might be newsworthy, we've gotten some pretty interesting, some pretty heartwarming stories as well by getting emails from you folks. Send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. The Mariners played the Tigers yesterday, kind of. Sports in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. It's time to enjoy one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCWLIFE. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCWLIFE channel. Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
22 minutes after the hour of sports, Victor Robles had a base hit in the first inning. Yeah, that was it. It was the only hit the Mariners could muster last night. Casey Mize combined with three relievers. Detroit beats the Mariners 4-1 last night. Mize retired 14 consecutive Mariners between the first and the sixth innings.
As this ends up by Bliss into right field. Kerry Carpenter attacking early. The Tigers have the lead in the first inning once again.
Another good game plan by the Tigers. This that slider, and again, it just like to Riley Green, it doesn't have that big break to it. And this one kind of stays over the middle of the plate. Kerry Carpenter just dropped the barrel of the bat, lines that into right field.
3-1. Lifted into left. This gets down for a base hit. That extra base for Carpenter coming into play. It's 2-0 and another airmail, this time from Arozarena. The Tigers are peppering the Mariners in the first inning in this series. Right field, off the bat of Torkelson toward the corner. That is a hit all the way to the wall. It's going to be 3-0, and the month of torque that was March has now rolled into April. First base side. Oh my goodness, Torque again flying through the Seattle sky. Torque's up.
Boy, and this is it. Spencer has had a rough day at the plate with 3 strikeouts, but you know what? He can affect the game with plays like that. Look at him up on his toes, that pre-pitch preparation where he's got that little hop, gets right up onto his toes and able to dive to his right.
Down over the middle of the plate, maybe if it is a changeup.
Cracked out to left. Will it drop? No, it hangs up in time. Caught by McKinstry. Throw home is well wide of the plate. Arozarena scores.
Making sure they're getting Riley Green some DH and rest days.
So he can explode on baseballs like that to the warning track. And that ball is up and out for Riley Green. Just beyond the reach of Randy Arozarena. And the Tigers get that run right back on another Tiger uppercut from Riley Green. 2-1, rolled to first. Torkelson collects a victory for the Tigers. Another first inning surge holds up. Tommy Canely gets his first Tiger save, and it's 2 in a row in the win column and a chance for a sweep with Skubal tomorrow.
Boy, what a nice team victory. Casey Mize set the tone for the whole game, and then everybody just followed suit.
Yeah, the Mariners take on Cy Young Award winner Tarik Skubal today. It's a matinee. Louis Castillo will pitch for the M's. First pitch is at 1:10. To the American League West scoreboard we go. There's the Tigers and the Mariners. Rangers just got by the Reds, 1-0 pitchers duel there. 11 innings, but the Angels got by St. Louis. It was the Giants over the Astros 3-1, and the Cubs beat the Athletics in interleague play 7-4. The Seattle Kraken hit the road against the Vancouver Canucks, looking to stop a 3-game road losing streak. Seattle is 9-10-2 against the Pacific Division. They are 31-38-6 overall. Of course, they're not going to make the Stanley Cup playoffs, but when they score a lot of goals, they win. The Kraken have gone 29-6-4 when they score at least 3 goals. Vancouver is 34-27-13 overall. They're 11-8-2 in the division. The Canucks have committed 282 penalty minutes. That ranks 7th in league play. They'll drop the puck at 7:30. Prep Soccer scoreboard, to the pitch we go. Sunnyside scored 2 late goals to beat Eastmont 2-1 in East Wenatchee. Moses Lake up by West Valley 2-0. Cashmere, no problems with LaSalle in a non-leaguer. Ephrata snuck by Ellensburg. Grandview shut out Quincy. Prep baseball scoreboard, Wenatchee remains undefeated in Big 9 play. They took care of Sunnyside. Eastmont broke out the bats and routed Davis. Moses Lake took care of Eisenhower. Cashmere and Royal split their doubleheader. Cashmere won the opener 15-5. Royal came back to nip the Bulldogs 5-4 in the nightcap. It was Chelan over Cascade in a big way. Sela doubled up on Ephrata, and Ellensburg no real issues with Quincy. And Prep softball scoreboard, Wenatchee knocked off Sunnyside 5-3. Natchez Valley rolled over Chelan. The first one was an offensive barrage, 18-15. Not so much with the second game, 20-3. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. It is, by the way, World Autism Awareness Day. I wanted to mention that before we move on to the obscure holiday. It is National Ferret Day. People either love ferrets or they can't stand them. I don't know why. Of course, ferrets are a member of the weasel family. Maybe that's the problem. Ferrets were domesticated about 2,500 years ago. The idea to hunt rabbits and rodents and to keep the food that you stored from being eaten by other things. In fact, ferrets were used in the American West to protect grain stores from rodents. So there you go. A ferret's heart beats anywhere from 200 to 250 beats per minute. An average ferret lives approximately 8 years. When ferrets aren't active, which is dusk and dawn, they sleep. Ferrets sleep between 14 to 16 hours a day. A domesticated ferret as a pet can be trained to use a litter box, and ferrets cannot catch a common cold from human beings, but they can get the flu from us. Happy National Ferret Day today, because, well, everybody gets a day. It's 28 minutes after the hour. Today in history. 3 war-related events. When the Capitol falls, you're going to win the war. Richmond falls. The defeat in the Third Battle of Petersburg forces Robert E. Lee and the Army of Northern Virginia and the entire Confederate government to get out of Richmond as fast as they could, and they did. They took everything. They took the cabinet, they took their money, they took their army, they took everything they could, and they beat out of their capital. Richmond falls to the Union Army, and for the Confederacy, it was pretty much the end. In less than a week, the war would be over. A day later, Abraham Lincoln went to Richmond, Virginia, and sat in Jefferson Davis's chair in the Capitol. Richmond falls, April 2nd, 1865, the beginning of the end. After being elected in 1916 under the provision of "He kept us out of the war," on April 2nd, 1917, about 8 months after he was elected, United States President Woodrow Wilson goes before a joint session of Congress and says, well, turns out we should go to war with Germany. He asked Congress to declare war on Germany on this date, 1917, and a few days later we did, and it was over there to put the kibosh on the Kaiser. We're on our way to France, April 2nd, 1917. And speaking of wars, the dumbest war of the last 50 years began April 2nd, 1982, when Argentina invades the Falkland Islands and the Falkland War begins. The Falkland Islands, owned by Great Britain, is a windswept bunch of islands in the South Atlantic that nobody really wants. I mean, when Argentina invaded the Falkland Islands, because they said it was ours and it's been ours for centuries, Great Britain should have said, great, here's the keys. Watch out for the sheep. They go to the bathroom a lot. Instead, they went to war. People died over the Falkland Islands. As the great Argentine writer Jorge Luis Borges described the Falkland Wars as, quote, a fight between two bald men over a comb. The things people will go to war with. The Falkland War begins on this date 43 years ago today. Spoiler alert, Great Britain won. And finally, 30 years ago today, the longest strike in Major League history comes to an end. The first 23 days of the 1995 season and the last 252 games of the 1994 season were gone. The owners accept the players' unconditional offer to return to work. The players' decision to return to work is made after Sonia Sotomayor, who is now a Supreme Court justice, issued an injunction restoring terms and conditions of the expired agreement. Basically, she said the owners were not negotiating in good faith. The teams would play a 144-game schedule. The strike had begun August 12, 1994, and it ended 30 years ago today, a red letter day for me. 1994 in baseball sucked. Birthdays. They're all heavenly birthdays today. Sometimes it's just the way it works out. Come listen to the story of a man named Jed, a poor mountaineer, barely kept his family fed. If I sing any more, we gotta pay royalties. Buddy Ebsen was born on this date, 1908. Buddy Ebsen, of course, Jake Clampett on the Beverly Hillbillies. Barnaby Jones, a Quinn Martin production. And of course, he was the original Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz in the movie. He was a great dancer. He was cast as the Tin Man. Turns out he was allergic to the makeup. He had to drop out of the role. Jack Haley got the role, and Buddy Ebsen lived a long time, lived all the way to the age of 95. Alec Guinness, born in this state in 1914, won the Oscar for Best Actor on Bridge on the River Kwai. He was in, which I just watched the other day, Lawrence of Arabia, which I just watched not long ago, Dr. Zhivago, which I've never seen, and a movie called Star Wars, which I understand was a big box office hit back in the 70s. Alec Guinness, born in this state in 1914. The great Jack Webb, born in the state in 1920, of course, Sergeant Joe Friday on Dragnet. The 1950s black and white Dragnets, I'm not a big fan of them. But when they rebooted Dragnet in 1967 with Jack Webb and Harry Morgan, those shows are fantastic. I love them. I got all of them on DVD. The production values are so cheap and the acting is so wooden. It's almost a comedy now, but we love Jack Webb, born in the state in 1920. Marvin Gaye. Pride and Joy, ain't that peculiar? I heard it through the grapevine. Let's get it on. I have, how many copies of What's Going On do I have? I have, I think, 5 copies of the album What's Going On, which is important because if one breaks, I still got 4. The legendary Marvin Gaye, soul giant, rock and roll giant. Man, do we miss him. Of course, shot to death by his father in 1984 at the age of 44. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, they call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors. And if your HVAC system is on the fritz, the first call always to Alpine Air. Mike Bernard has got an opinion coming up, and then my conversation with Joseph Hunter from Thriving Together NCW. A lot of people like that conversation, and they like the story of Joseph Hunter and what he has done to turn his life around. You're going to see it when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
NCWLIFE's news team is keeping an eye on North Central Washington. Join us each weekday evening at 5, 6, and 10 for the NCWLIFE Evening News, with interviews, in-depth reporting, and the kind of insights you can't find anywhere else. We're the hometown news station for the Wenatchee Valley, the Cascade Foothills, and up and down the Columbia River. Thanks for watching NCWLIFE, proud to be part of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new midsize Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
Hey.
If it feels like everything you say to your teenager goes in one ear and out the other, you're not alone. But even when it seems like they aren't listening, they are, especially when it comes to a topic like drugs. Find time in everyday moments to share facts, teach refusal skills, and answer their questions about drugs, including opioids like fentanyl, because your words matter. Get the conversation started today.
What's your awesome? Whatever it is, Washington Trust Bank can help you get there. Learn more at watrust.com/awesome.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Since 18-year-olds got the vote in about 1971, I have only voted for a Democrat in a major election twice. The first time for McGovern in 1972. You know, hippie days, Vietnam, all that stuff. You know how it was. However, when one of our U.S. senators, Patty Murray, said she would try to end the asinine twice-a-year time change, I wrote to her and said, Patty, if you can get this done, I will vote for you. Once. Now, evidently, she reintroduced the Sunshine Protection Act bill to eliminate the idiocy of twice-a-year time changes in January of this year is when she introduced it. Now, so you go, Patty. You get this done, and I will keep my word, and I will vote for you. Once. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
It's the NCWLIFE Community Calendar, brought to you by the Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. The Chelan Douglas Land Trust and the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is bringing back Pets and People Outdoors on Saturday, April 5th. It's your chance for pet lovers and hiking lovers to get together and experience the beauty of our trail system. The event begins and ends at the Kenzie's Landing Trailhead and features giveaways, coffee and baked goods for sale, classes, and a costume contest.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, located in East Wenatchee, offers terrific views and challenging play for golfers at every skill level. From the golf course to the grill, you don't need to be a member to dine in style and play golf too. Highlander's well-groomed fairways and greens keep it difficult, yet friendly for your regular rounds of golf or a new destination for you and your out-of-town friends. Contact the Highlander Pro Shop today to schedule your tee time, outing, or tournament. Open 7 days a week, where everyone is welcome to play and eat.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. with professional-grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Wenatchee Power Sports is under new management and now open on Mondays. Come in today and take advantage of blowout pricing on all 24 KTMs in stock. Get ready for summer at Wenatchee Power Sports. Visit us in the store or online at wenpow.com.
Welcome back to the program. An organization doing good work has well, needed a little love from me lately, and I should have been getting together with Thriving Together NCW quite some time ago. Things come and go, they fall off my radar, totally my bad, until a couple of weeks ago when they sent me and a number of other media organizations an email about a new video series that Thriving Together NCW is rolling out. And we're going to show you a snippet of a couple of videos before this conversation is over. First of all, my guest is Joseph Hunter, who is the Recovery Coach Network Manager at Thriving Together NCW. I got that right.
Yes.
Good. Thank you, Joseph, for joining me. We're going to have a couple of guests actually during this conversation segment. First of all, for the uninitiated, Thriving Together NCW, what is it? Why does your organization exist?
We're here to advance the health and well-being in our community, in a sense. And my specific role is anything to do with recovery support services. As a person with lived experience that grew up in this region, I know all too well what it's like to be fighting that fight and not have community support. And so organizations like Thriving Together NCW that promote health and wellness for underserved populations like people that struggle with addiction is a very crucial resource for our region.
You spent a great deal of your younger years addicted. You've been fairly open about
Yes.
about your past. Grew up out in the basin, not the best of circumstances in the home life. It's pretty easy from a socioeconomic standpoint to fall down that rabbit hole, and you fell down it in a big way, didn't you?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Just growing up in a really low-income family. My parents struggled on and off with addiction, did the best they could with what they had, and I just found out all too fast that you could cope with your problems with drugs and alcohol. It was an easy, quick fix, and it as somebody that didn't fit in school, like that instantly gave me validation. It instantly gave me a group of people that understood, and I just gravitated towards that lifestyle very fast. It slowly spiraled out of control. I started out as a normal kid. School was important, sports were important, and then I would say just life got the best of me, and I made a few wrong choices, and when I turned 18, I ended up in county jail for the first time with some felonies from being intoxicated and doing some stuff I shouldn't have been doing, and that was the first of 20-something booking photos in that jail. What I would say about that is it weighed heavy on my mental health, my personal health, emotional health, spiritual health, and I just slowly kind of lost the grip of life, and it just took me down that dark path, and it was a long, dark path.
And yet here you are, you're what, 8 years sober, is that right? 8 years sober? So there is hope. You went through hell and you got out on the other side. You were singed.
Yes.
But you're alive, which in and of itself is a miracle. And now you're here. So you have institutional knowledge of what it's like to be institutionalized. And that gives you a certain perspective that perhaps most people don't.
Yeah, when I think of the 8 years of freedom that I have and the work it took, honestly, a lot of things had to align. In 2016, the last time I was in jail, the last time I used, I had no intentions of getting clean. Just one, I call it a miracle. Some people call it a spiritual moment. But I got a visit in jail that showed me that people still loved me. I was still a lovable person. I was still needed, that my kids needed me, and that little bit of pure love that I hadn't felt in so long being in that lifestyle did something to me, and it instantly filled me with a lot of hope. And haven't looked back since.
And now you're here. How did you go from spending a great deal of your time behind bars to the epiphany that you just mentioned to Thriving Together and your role here? How did those things mesh? How did that come together?
You know, I found a 12-step community, and that is how I fought for my life and learned how to cope, learned how to live, learned how to, be a better person. And through that process, I enjoyed advocacy work, and I enjoyed telling people my story and telling people that recovery is possible. I didn't want people to think that, this old concept of, once a junkie, always a junkie is not true, that there's hope for anybody. There's no hole too deep that you can't dig your way out of. And I met some good people, and one of the things that happened in 2018 is we started a grassroots coalition, me and a bunch of other people, and we wanted to just tell the community that recovery is possible. And we got like-minded individuals, Kristen Ferreira, the drug court judge, joined our coalition, and just a few other people that were pretty prominent in getting things and opening doors and making things happen showed up. And that's where I had met one of the staff members from Thriving Together at the time. I was working at the local machine shop here. I loved my job. I had no intention of leaving, and Thriving Together facilitated the very first Recovery Coach Academy training. It's where I learned how to be a recovery coach. And in that moment, I realized that I wanted to do something different with my career path, and it was being in peer support. And through that process, Thriving Together decided that they wanted to hire somebody with lived experience to start a pilot project in Chelan County Jail. And that's when I interviewed for the job. At the time, I didn't think I was qualified for it or, good enough. A lot of the stuff that was going on in my head was telling me, you're not good enough for this, don't do it. And good thing I had a really good support group that told me, apply for that, this is meant for you. And I got the job in 2020, and it's been probably the biggest blessings in my recovery, is being able to have an opportunity like this to work for an organization that cares so much about underserved populations, and especially a population that I know all too well.
About last number I checked, about 75% of the people incarcerated at the Chelan County Regional Justice Center are suffering from addiction. Most of it fentanyl, others as well. But that's almost 80% of those incarcerated are addicted to drugs. Mm-hmm. They may not be incarcerated because of drugs. It could have been I stole to feed my habit, but one way or the other, that's a remarkably sobering number, which leads us to the video series. You got some money, you used some of your own, you got some grant money for some other organizations to create these series of videos that North 40 Productions put together that's going to be shown to inmates suffering from addiction at the Chelan County Regional Justice Center. We're going to show a couple of snippets of a couple of videos here shortly. But this project takes you guys to the next level, right? You think?
Yeah, I think, the Clears project, there's a few things to note. One of the things is the importance of people knowing that law enforcement wants to be a positive influence for this population and can do a lot of interventions with their interactions with people out in the community. And so highlighting that relationship between somebody with lived experience and law enforcement is something that's super important, because when you're caught up in your active addiction, most of the time you're so blinded by the fact that these civil servants are trying to help you and be supportive of you because of your anger and, you know, resentment and whatever, and, you know, the drugs manipulating your thought processes. But these stories really signify hope, and I think that, to me, it really is there to also reduce the stigma that, you know, for one, people incarcerated, there's a stigma. 2, addiction. 3, the stigma against law enforcement. And so when you see these videos of these people in recovery turning their life around, finding success in life, and working with law enforcement to do that, it gives hope to people that are incarcerated. And we plan on putting these in our jail system, so when somebody gets booked into jail, they can see this really powerful story of redemption and hopefully use that to access the Recovery Coach program that's in our jail systems.
We're going to show snippets of both of these videos. There's some of it you might feel a little uncomfortable, but it's reality. Life isn't always peaches and cream. We're going to show snippet. We can't show you the whole videos because they're a little on the lengthy side. And both of these videos, by the way, and additional videos will be available on the Thriving Together NCW YouTube page. But here's a couple of snippets to check out. And then as soon as we're done with these, we'll come right back.
I know me, at least in my drug use, I was always in denial, and I always thought that I could run from the truth. But when you're honest and when you're willing to put in the effort and the work, things will gradually get better.
My first interaction with Cruz, he was committing, new felonies and, an active gang member in our community.
I didn't really care much for him. There wasn't no communication. I was very dishonest towards him. But just coming out of treatment this last time, I was assigned to his caseload, so here I am.
Right away, I noticed he had a strong desire for change. He put his words into action. He found a job, then he found a second job and was working 2 jobs.
Things are super well. I actually see him as a peer mentor, almost like a bigger brother, or a friend type.
Change is possible. Focus on you first to get through your recovery, and the other stuff will follow.
I wasn't just addicted to the lifestyle, the drugs, the money. I couldn't be alone, right? And that was the root of the problem, was feeling lonely. And that's what took me back to drugs all those years ago. I got pregnant when I was 16. I had my daughter in my life, but I just felt really lonely. And the only way I knew how to cope was drugs. I smoked heroin, and then I used intravenously. I lost my apartment, stopped going to school, then lost my job. Something that I told myself that I would never give my kid up, like my mom did. I ended up getting raided by the Chelan County Sheriff's Department. I didn't want to get clean, but I didn't want to continue living the life I was living. I started to become involved. I got back in touch with my sponsor, created goals for myself. I had just gotten a job as a recovery navigator. Officially November 1st, I took over guardianship of my niece, and she's been with me for a year. Starting to build a relationship with my daughter, with my niece. I want to live and have a good life for myself and for my girls.
Joseph Hunter, how important is the fact that the videos that we just saw are people like you who went through hell and emerged on the other side, slightly singed, but they're emerged, because these are remarkable videos and remarkable stories. The message is hope. The message is there are people out there who give a damn about you, whether you know it or not. Is that essentially it?
Yeah, you want, when somebody's incarcerated and they're, detoxing or just got over a detox, when they see somebody that came from that same background and lifestyle turn their life around, it instantly puts hope in their pocket and gives them the belief that they can achieve that same success themselves.
When this series of conversations returns, we're going to be talking. Who am I going to be talking to again? I'm sorry. Our friend here, just off camera.
John Chapman, the executive director of Thriving Together NCW.
John Chapman is going to give us a little background about how this organization came to be and what you can do to help Thriving Together NCW continue to thrive together NCW. We'll have that right around the corner.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can just this time warranty.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Spring into the good life. World-class wine, food, and hospitality meet on the shores of Lake Chelan. Chelan Cellars, bringing great wine, food, friends, and family together where vineyards and the good life bloom every spring.
Tipsy Canyon Winery has become the place to go for fine wine and unbelievable views of the Chelan Valley. Tipsy Canyon Winery is a year-round destination for wine lovers, so stay for the moment that becomes the memory at Tipsy Canyon Winery.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
41 degrees here in the big city. As you can see behind me, high clouds are hanging around. They're going to be hanging around, not too thick, not too dense for the next, 8 hours or so. And then we're in for some really, really nice weather, gorgeous stretch of weather coming up. Ridge of high pressure is going to start moving in. It's going to center right over north central Washington. Not big, not strong, but there's also nothing out there to really knock it out of alignment. So get ready for some really nice weather. But we wanted to recap the month of March while we had a chance. So the National Weather Service says March in the Wenatchee Valley looked something like this. As you can see, it was a little warmer than normal and a little wetter than normal. Our average temperature, that's the high and the low combined, and you spit it out, 45.6 degrees, so it was a little bit warmer than a normal March, and it was a little bit wetter than a normal March. Normally we get about 3/4 of an inch of rain on a typical March. We had just about an inch of rain, and it took a while to get there. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you can see this is the rainfall, is that green gauge. We were a very dry start to the month of March, and then we got caught up real quickly. Never really had a significant deluge, but we had enough days of intermittent measurable precipitation that we all added up to just about an inch of rain. So all in all, there you go. That is the month of March for the Wenatchee Valley, and it was a pretty good March. How's April stacking up? Well, here's your forecast from the National Weather Service. Lots of sunshine today, just the high clouds, filtered sunshine, I guess is the best way we can call it, with a high of 57 degrees. A little breezy at times today. 35 for the overnight low tonight. That's below normal because we're not going to get to the normal high temperature either, so we're going to have a significant cool down. We're going to be upper 50s on Thursday, and we're going to not have to deal with the high clouds on Thursday. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all the ensemble models are in agreement that the ridge is going to be here by Friday, which means nice warm temperatures, very pleasant weekend, lots of sunshine, very little wind, about as perfect as it could be on Saturday and Sunday. The Columbia Basin Out in Moses Lake, you may hit 70 on Sunday. It's possible. All right, that's it for us. Have a good and safe Wednesday. Start your Thursday morning with Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Till then, bye-bye.